Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to all our school leaders and math educators. Mathematical knowledge is cumulative in nature, and that the gaps in students' understanding, when not remediated early, can snowball into significant deficits that will lead eventually to larger issues in math comprehension and application. I will be sharing with you how we can accelerate teaching and learning through Scholastic's Prime Mathematics and Math Pro, and eventually bridge learning gaps. I'm quite sure that you will all agree that mathematics educators need superpowers. Math is tough to teach, and often our teachers in the primary school are generalists, or we call them the mother teachers. And so they may not have the specialist knowledge. We also know that kids struggle in math. And so in a class, you can have a lot of students with different abilities in math. And because of its cumulative nature, there are chances of deficit snowballs in mathematics. Now, here's the thing. If the teacher continues to teach a topic for days or for weeks without knowing exactly how much of the lesson was understood by your students, then the gap is going to keep on widening. And hence, we appreciate that math teachers really need superpowers. We hope that Prime Mathematics and Math Pro, we will be able, through these programs, we will be able to provide teachers with some sort of those superpowers. Prime Mathematics is a full curriculum program. It has been implemented in the Philippines since 2016. Across the world, it's a trusted and well-adopted kinder to grade 6 mathematics program in 42 countries. In the Philippines, we are currently in partnership with 100 plus user schools. And in our 8 years in the Philippines, we have been successful in better engaging students in math lessons and in developing in them deep conceptual understanding of math concepts. Now, let me just tell you more about Prime Mathematics. The strength of Prime Math is in incorporating the best practices in math instruction from global top performers in math. And we know these countries: Singapore, Hong Kong, South Korea. But even so, we made sure that our program is also aligned with the learning objectives of the Philippine K-12 curriculum. Hence, we have a Philippine edition. Its curriculum framework is focused on problem solving, and its instructional design incorporates the readiness engagement mastery model as it guides students in the following way. So you can see on the screen our conceptual framework and the 5 practices we adopted. Learning experiences on the readiness engagement mastery instructional model, learning mathematics via problem solving, learning or integrating assessment with instruction, development and communication of mathematical thinking and reasoning, and learning mathematics by doing mathematics. Prime Mathematics also has a focused and coherent content framework and developmental continuum, and its approach is spiral. It is expressed as the 4 learning progression principles that are composite of the successful practices of the countries I mentioned earlier. First, so let me just discuss these 4 briefly. First, the early learning of math is deeply focused on the major work for each grade. We develop concepts underlying arithmetic, computation, and of course, the ability to apply arithmetic. Second, new learning is built on prior knowledge, which makes learning efficient. Revisiting concepts and skills at a higher level of difficulty ensures in-depth understanding. So this is different from just repetition, right? We revisit concepts, but with a higher level of difficulty. For example, the topics whole numbers, number bonds, addition and subtraction, they are all interconnected, and they are taught by building on prior knowledge. Third, learning objectives within and across grades are also sequenced based on a logical progression. Let me cite an example for this. Learning fractions is connected across grades, and in Prime Math grade 1, the students will learn how to identify halves and quarters. And in grade 2, The concept of fractions now is extended to other proper fractions. And when they go to grade 3, they consider equivalent fractions. They're introduced about addition and subtraction of fractions. So that's how it is sequencing. And lastly, the ordering of content from one topic is frequently aligned to reinforce the content of another topic across a different strand. For example, in grade 1, telling time to the half hour is taught after the fractions chapter to reinforce the concepts of halves and allow students to make connections between these two topics. So that's how our program, in terms of the content, is so focused and coherent. And these are expressed through the 4 learning progression principles. Now, with all of the best practices that we have adopted and are focused on coherent curriculum, we put these two together so that Prime Math works for every teacher and student. In fact, Prime Math lesson activities are thoughtfully sequenced to follow the readiness engagement mastery model. We believe that in order to optimize learning, it is important that students are prepared for the new lesson and that they are provided the necessary teacher support as they progress from learning to master. Okay. In Prime Math, the students learn math by doing math. We are adopting the activity-based concrete pictorial abstract approach, which I think Yvonne was already covered. And of course, the gradual release of responsibility model. So these are embedded in the learning experiences in our program. A best practice of Singapore, the CPA, is a 3-step instructional approach developed by Jerome Bruner that foster conceptual understanding. We are proud to say that in Prime Math, both the concept lessons and even the assessments are centered on CPA approach. Our teacher's guides and coursework manuals also explicitly recommend activities to be done in every CPA stage. You might wonder, how is it done? So let's have a sample lesson about division. The lesson starts with a teacher demonstration and a hands-on class activity using concrete manipulatives. Okay, let's watch this short video, how it is done. This is for dividing 250 by 2.
$250 by 2. So for 250, we have 100, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250. Now let's divide this into 2 groups. So 100 in one group, and then the other 100 in the other group. Then we still have these tens left. So 110 will go to one group, and then another 10 to the second group, 110 to the first group, another 10 to the second group. So as we can see, still.
Okay, so that's a sample way of teaching division using manipulatives. Now, after hands-on activity, the teacher or the students are now taught to represent mathematical ideas visually with the use of pictures or drawings. This one is an actual screenshot of our book, which you can see the similar layout of the activity and the pictures or the diagrams. And then once conceptual understanding is in place, the concept or skill is now represented using only abstract numbers and mathematical symbols.
So let's divide 250 divided by 2.
Video
We can
wherein
also write
the
this
teacher
in
now
vertical form
teaches division
as
using the
250
long method.
divided by
Okay, so we
2.
have to be deliberate
Right?
about
So
it.
remember a while
That
ago
when we
we
teach a
divided
lesson, we should
first
always start,
200.
or
So
we
the
should
200s is
ideally
here,
start with
divided
something
into 2
concrete,
groups. We actually got
teach them with
100 in
pictorials
each
that's
group.
related to the
So
activity,
100 here.
make sure there
2
is a
groups of
connection
100 is
before we
200,
teach the
right?
abstract. And through that,
So
the
we
students will be
actually
able to
divided our
conceptually
hundreds
understand the
specifically
math
into 2
lesson.
equal groups.
Prime Math, to continue, also has a strong focus on problem solving. There are multiple opportunities in the program to do like that. For example, we have the word problems after the lessons. And also in Prime Math Kinder, which is our preschool program, we develop a problem-solving mindset, which is addressed by stories embedded in the lessons. Aside from that, there is a problem-solving lesson kit, which is a set of big books and readers that can be used to conduct summative assessment through read-alouds or storytelling with the Amicable Cat family. And this kit is a supplementary resource provided to schools enrolling to levels of kinder. In Primath Grade School, there are problem-posing tasks in Create Your Own worksheets that would encourage students to explore, share, and even question their own methods. And at the same time, it will require them to be aware of their thinking, to create word problems that are sensible, realistic, and solvable. Prime Mathematics also explicitly teaches different heuristics or problem-solving strategies, which is a best practice of South Korea. This way, the students will learn how to select, they can express, categorize, and even develop their ability to decide which strategy to use, and even adopt and invent their own strategies. We have also adopted a salient feature of Singapore math. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with the block model or the bar model method, which is used to systematically teach complex word problems using visual representations. This way, the students gain a deeper understanding of the operations that they may use to solve problems. And at the same time, this block model also lays the foundation for learning algebra. This is an effective practice we adopted from Singapore, and at the same time, we also adopted the best practice from Hong Kong, which is teaching students the UPAC process of problem solving. In PriMath, the students systematically solve word problems by understanding it first, planning which strategies may be used to solve the problem, answering the problem using what they think is the best method, and checking their answer. So that's the UPAC process. And we're very consistent about it because it's actually employed starting from grade 1 until grade 6. In PriMath, we also develop students' metacognitive skills. There are opportunities provided for students to consolidate and deepen their learning that allow them to discuss their solutions, to think aloud, and even reflect on what they are doing. We have a Think About It worksheet that helps students to think about the question, to communicate their reasoning, and justify their conclusions. I would agree with what Ms. Yvonne said earlier, that math is not only about, having an objective data. Like, it's not always about the right or the wrong, but of course we also have to develop students' metacognitive skills that they could actually defend their own answers. In kinder, we have similar tasks like the think, turn, and talk activity, so that even if they are young, they can still start developing independent thinking in problem solving. And through these worksheets, we can correct misconceptions, bridge gaps, and even see the application of math. In Prime Mathematics, CPA is embedded in concept development and assessment. CPA stages, which we have elaborated earlier. And then throughout the activity, the teacher will observe what the students say and do to provide feedback. The concept lessons progress from the teacher demonstration and then shared demonstration to guided practice, and then eventually culminates in independent practice and problem solving. In PriMath K, we have a chapter workout and learning center activities that serve to consolidate concepts learned in the chapter. And these tasks follow the gradual release of responsibility model, which is I do, we do, and you do. PriMath also provides summative assessments for consolidation of learning. We have a printed practice test books for teachers to support instruction and enhance learning. These are banks of summative assessments that you can use. These are mid-year and end-of-year tests. And we also have review activities that appear after 2 to 3 chapters. These are also cumulative, and they provide summative assessment and consolidation of concepts. Not only that, in PriMath, you can see activities for extended learning. For example, for grade school students, they will have non-routine problems in mind stretchers that are designed to develop higher order thinking skills and apply concepts learned. We also introduce new problem-solving strategies through the mind stretchers. And additionally, the grade school teachers and students have classroom posters to highlight and remind them of key concepts and skills. As I said earlier, PriMath in its 8 years in the Philippines has been successful in developing students' conceptual understanding through all of these features, these worksheets, and these approaches of teaching math. And this school year, we proudly launched a digital solution that makes PriMath an even more powerful program. PriMath is powered by MathPro, which is a single comprehensive ecosystem for all mathematics teaching and learning needs, and it offers complete flexibility in planning, instruction, and learning. I would like us to watch a short clip introducing MathPro.
As an educator, you know proficiency in mathematics sets every student up for future success, as it helps them develop into confident thinkers and problem solvers. Scholastic Prime Mathematics, powered by MathPro, helps students of different learning styles and abilities achieve mastery in mathematics. With MathPro, you can prepare lessons and assign work using Prime Mathematics or any other core curriculum program. Teach engaging lessons, assess, and monitor your students all on one platform. As student abilities in the class differ, closing learning gaps can be a challenge. MathPro's effective diagnostic practice, formative and summative assessment framework supports learning to mastery for all students, and keeping track of each student's progress is easy. Real-time insights and alerts ensure that instruction is tailored to student needs. With all this support, you can help all students in a timely and effective manner, ensuring that every student achieves their learning goals. And through it all, concept videos and virtual manipulatives incorporated at point of use develop deep conceptual understanding using the concrete pictorial abstract approach. Scholastic Prime Mathematics, powered by MathPro, making learning mathematics joyful and powerful for every student and every educator.
Right, so MathPro makes math mastery happen for every student. So all of the content, the practice, assessment, engagement, and even motivation that students need to learn and to thrive in math is easily, seamlessly available on MathPro. And this is the learning to mastery ecosystem, which has world-class pedagogy and blended curriculum. It has connected teaching and learning, valuable learning insights and reports, pro tools for effective, engaged teaching, motivation for mastery, and embedded professional learning and lesson preparation. So let me just go through the different components of MathPro so we could get to know more about it. So what do we mean by an ecosystem? MathPro is comprehensive and it follows the teacher's learning journey. The dashboard gives the teacher an easy update and overview, and then the teacher goes into the prepare mode where they will have all the resources that are needed for convenient, complete lesson preparation. And then from prepare, the teacher moves into teach, where he is able to teach an impactful lesson and accelerate learning every day. Next is assess, which offers assessment for every step of the learning journey, and then monitor, where teachers can see the detailed reports, right from the high-level data at class level and right down to the details of each student's performance. So let's consider the different components. MathPro incorporates the proven Prime Mathematics core curriculum. I was able to somehow give you the details and the components of our Prime Mathematics program, and that's incorporated in MathPro. MathPro will offer a seamless teaching and learning experience because all of the resources that teachers need, all of the books are already in MathPro, and the teachers can access the tools and assessments at point of use. So it's all have been mapped to the PriMath pedagogy, and all the tools and resources are embedded so that we can support teaching in a class on-site or in hybrid mode, whatever a way you decide to teach, you can have a perfect blended teaching experience. And MathPro can also help kids with whatever curriculum or books you are using. In fact, MathPro could be a supplemental program because you can still give them access to Prime Math digital resources. The assessments are available and will be very relevant and can be used. And all of the manipulatives and videos in the program will be useful in concept development. Next is connected teaching and learning. In MathPro, checks for readiness, ongoing formative assessment, and summative assessments are integrated with instruction. Starting with recall at the start of a chapter, you will be able to check whether the students have the prior knowledge that they need in order to learn a new content. Recall will deliver a report to the teacher to indicate where are the gaps in the previous knowledge so that as a teacher, you can resolve those before teaching the next topic. Next is practice, which is ongoing formative and diagnostic assessment. We have an available practice for every learning objective in the Prime Math Curriculum, which will diagnose and inform the teachers what is the level of understanding of each child. Is your student's level of understanding at the concrete level? Is he at the pictorial level? Or have they already mastered it at the abstract level? And so before you teach the next class, you will be able to know if you need to remediate, and if there is a need to remediate, who among your students should you need remediation lessons. And then we have assessment. These are end of chapter summative assessments so that the teachers can confirm the mastery of topics that have just been learned. With assessment at the end of every chapter, you would know how the class is doing before you even move on to the next chapter. And the final step, of course, is review. The reviews are cumulative in nature. What we do is at specific points, for example, chapters 1 to 5, at the end of chapter 5, we will check the knowledge or confirm the mastery of all the topics covered in 1 to 5 chapters, because through then we can check across learning progressions. So that's the purpose of these cumulative reviews. Here's how we can implement MathPro digital practices. At every lesson, you can assign a practice to assess. Once you have assigned it and the students take it, you will be given or you will be able to see a report which will diagnose the level of understanding of students, whether they are at the concrete level, pictorial, or abstract level, so that as a teacher, you can remediate at the appropriate level. In remediation, MathPro provides critical insight at the level of each student and at the class level. At the level of each student, for example, you will see his LU or level of understanding. MathPro would recommend if a student should be going back and doing some practices or concepts. And the teachers will also understand how the whole class is doing for that particular concept. So that would give you an insight whether you can proceed to teach the next lesson or whether you should spend time to go back and to revisit the lesson that was just taught. So that is the assess, diagnose, remediate model, which is a formative diagnostic process that is unique to MathPro. With all of these different types of assessment, teachers will have access to valuable learning insights and reports to support them in their instructional goals. At every step, teachers will have access to most relevant data that they need in order to make good and timely instructional decisions. Teachers always stay one step ahead with accurate real-time data. You have a dashboard that shows the class math wellness at a glance. You can consider this as your traffic light. Is it green, is it amber, or is it green? And then you'll also know how they're doing on the various assessments that you have assigned to them on the prepare mode. And likewise, you can also check their performance even while you are teaching. If you want to check it with your whole class, you can access the results from the teach mode. And in assess mode, where you have all the assessments that you can assign, you can also track student performance and activities. In monitor, what you can see in the monitor, of course, will be the whole suite of reports at the level of the child or at the level of the class. You can drill down from class all the way to individual child, down to the level of each item. Our objective when Math Pro is being developed is that it has to model the journey of the teacher. The data is something that you don't just look at once in a while. In math, data is something that teachers need to look at every day to understand what is working, what is not working, what are the gaps, and how do you bridge those gaps. So this is a sample of a dashboard. You can click and drill down to the level of each child. So you will also understand from here how much work has a student completed, how has he done on average, and how is he faring on all of those metrics. So I guess, and I'm quite sure that this dashboard and this reports will be very, very useful for you when you teach. MathPro also focuses on pedagogical technology or PedTech. I'm sure you're very familiar with EdTech or educational technology, but MathPro focuses on PedTech. What is it that teachers do? What are their practices? How do we facilitate those practices with technology? We have a MathPro toolbar that was designed to replicate the activities teachers carry out to make their learning engaging and effective. So we look at all of these tools that teachers use and automated this process to make it even better. We have a toolbar. So we went through all the utilities or tools to think about what will the teacher use for it and how will they use it. And then we were able to determine exactly what to provide there. So there are a lot of tools that teachers can use. We have virtual manipulatives to help students move from concrete to visual representation. There is a masking feature that teachers, even if you are projecting it on the screen, you can still hide certain parts of the page so you can get students to focus on something. And then finally, all the relevant content are at point of use. Whether it's a video that you are watching from MathPro, or whether it's something you would like to add, you would want to attach a picture or a presentation perhaps, you can all attach that, and all of those will be available right from one single spot. We have 6 virtual manipulatives for in front of class demonstration that are available for use for students and teachers. These are actually samples of the sample video where you will be able to use digital manipulatives like the clock. You have an analog and digital clock. You can actually play around with it, change the time format from 12-hour to 24-hour format. And then you have 4 operations. There are straws, there are fruits, there are a variety of things that you can use as counters so that it would also be an engaging lesson, even if you're doing it digitally. So we have that. You can also put some labels, which is very universal in digital manipulatives. We also have a virtual manipulative on bar modeling so that it would be easier for teachers to illustrate and teach students about bar modeling. You can add, or you can change colors, you can play around with it, you can label the different bars, of course. Now, aside from this bar model digital manipulative, we also have for numbers, which we made sure has a similar layout with our printed resources or our books. Okay, so you can drag some features. These are all interactive. You can all label it. And then we have scales, actually have a pan balance scale with all the weights that you can drag. There is an analog scale. You can choose the units of measure. And there is also a digital scale, and you can just drag the different weights. We also have a fraction digital manipulative, which is very useful when you teach this concept to the students. How to make a whole, which one is larger or smaller, and you can use those different types of manipulatives to have a seamless teaching virtually. With all of those tools, we are also happy to inform you that Math Pro has other ways, not only has ways to motivate students. We know that math is tough, especially for kids who are struggling, and so motivation is needed. They have to feel good about themselves, and they have to feel good about learning math. So we're providing opportunities for them to see that their efforts are being recognized. The student dashboard in MathPro is designed to make inviting and engaging, to have all the resources that students need, including the assessments, learning resources, and other achievements. They can also choose an avatar, and as they progress with their assignments, they can level up and have the opportunity to upgrade their avatars. They can also earn stars when they complete activities or when they receive accolades. They will be receiving a crown if they master a topic. The teachers can award an accolade for good behavior. It is a very important feature for motivation in Math Pro because it could encourage struggling kids. And Math Pro also encourages students to set monthly goals based on which they learn, or based on which they will earn with stars and medals. And throughout their journey, the students will see encouraging messages and checks on students' emotional well-being to reduce math anxiety. We also understand that math teachers really need support to prepare lessons and to deliver them. So we have made resources and tools easily and quickly accessible for them. You can prepare the lessons anytime and anywhere because it's available online. You can watch concept videos as a great tool for demonstration. You can even build your your competence and confidence in teaching math. There are also contextual buttons available right in context at point of use. You will have easy, seamless management of teacher-created content because you can always attach anything that you created in Math Pro, so it would be easier for you to use them in classes. And then finally, one of the things that we are so highly regarded for is the support that we provide to educators. We have a consultant who's gonna journey with you in the implementation of the programs. Further, we have concept videos that will aid professional development, but you can also play these videos in classes to demonstrate CPA, or you can even play these videos for your students in class. This is actually a sample video that is available in Math Pro.
This is a whole circle.
So that is Math Pro, a digital solution that makes math mastery happen for every student. And right now, I would like to inform you of the different components that we have in the program. Before I end, I will share with you the different support services and components that are in the program. We commit to providing, of course, printed student books or coursework books. We have Math Pro digital accounts for students. Teachers will also get a number of printed resources that could help them in the delivery of instruction, like teachers' guides, practice test books, bar model book, classroom posters, problem-solving kit, physical manipulatives. We also provide digital accounts for teachers for their Math Pro so they could access their coursework books, their coursework manuals, digital manipulatives, digital practices and assessments online. And on top of that, Scholastic provides professional development. We commit to providing trainings to teachers, and we assign a prime math consultant who will be designated to our partners or who will be journeying with you in the implementation. Scholastic also has several student engagement activities like the virtual prime math student boot camp for incoming grades 4 to 6 students from schools not using Singapore Math. We also have the prime math student activities to make students really see math in their surroundings and everyday activities. And we have the Prime Math Young Mathematicians Circle. for preschool to grade 6, where the students will be creating their own math explainer videos so they could learn from their peers as well. And I think I forgot to mention the Prime Math Olympiad, which is a nationwide inter-school contest for partners of Scholastic using Prime Math for at least 3 years. And of course, we involve the parents in the program, so we commit to providing a speaker for orientations and seminars. So that is Prime Mathematics, our world-class program of Scholastic, and we hope that we can be partners in strengthening your school's numeracy next school year. We are glad to inform you that we have different variations of the program that your school may consider depending on your needs. We have curriculum programs, and we also have a supplemental program. Together, let us all help children succeed and find meaning and enjoyment in math with Prime Mathematics and Math Pro. Once again, thank you very much for your attention and have a great day.